carry bans for our first match of the 14.5. There's the Aatrox ban you were looking for.
Yeah, like to see that. Mostly because I'm tired of Aatrox, but I want to see more Zeus on different things. He will abuse the Aatrox, but what else can he do?
Hey man, he's only played 16 games of Aatrox this season.
That's true. Maybe, you know, maybe I haven't really been giving him credit.
His next most played is Cassante at 6-0, and then Yone 3-1.
Yeah.
Everything else is one game.
Yep.
So,
including the Jace, he did play into Gen G. That was kind of one more recent niche picks. Final bans here. I mean, Smolder, that could be the angle for the upset. Ox has been pretty outspoken about how that can be a real decisive factor in some of these upsets, just the sit back and scale, so difficult to deal with. And both Senna and Smolder will be left open. See which one Jiwoo will choose here. Unless they just want to go for a jungle pick, but I don't think you're prioritizing for Sylvie in this draft. Will be the Kalista. So saying, now I have Kalista, so neither the Smolder nor Senna feel good in lane. And also, Guma has played Lucian into Kalista, and it has not gone well for him. See if they want to decide to go that way, or if they think the Senna will break through the laning phase. A risky call here for T1.
The Orianna also going to come out here. Faker 10-0 on this pick. Undefeated so far this season. And has played it quite a lot, but wasn't pulling it out as often in recent times. So interesting to see him take it out once again. Renata Glask is available and feels pretty nice. Although, if you are into, you know, a lot of range on the side of T1, can be a bit of an issue as the game comes along.
No doubt. See what the counter pick here is going to be for Call Me. Could just try to play way into this. Gives you the scaling later on.
Or Talia.
Well, Talia is definitely the pick that you'd want to go if you're confident to obviously give some assists to the bottom lane, but they're going to keep that pick hidden and just toss down the Udyr. Remember, Cassante is still available. Dindin could have played that here. Would have been fairly safe blind, but very confident in the Udyr into Cassante matchup he's played so many times, and just feels comfortable blinding it into even the Renekton that's quite strong right now. So see what it's going to be. Is it going to be the Kench into Kalista? Does not feel great, to be honest, but is the best pairing pick left besides the Ornn, who isn't also going to feel great into Kalista Renata. So
yeah,
this is going to be obviously great the longer the game goes on. It's just going to be tough on those first few levels.
Yeah, and it is Keria, so Senna and TK for Guma Keria is going to be pretty insane regardless of what lane they are playing into. They are very proficient at this duo. And, you know, if you didn't pick the I you might be facing like TK Ornn or TK Seraphine bans from the side of Nongshim. It could have gotten a little bit dicey.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dicier in the bottom lane.
Lohe ban for Call Me makes sense. One of the picks that outranges the Orianna and can push her pretty successfully if played well. See a Nocturne ban here, Nocturne Orianna, pretty obvious, and Owner has been the LCK's best Nocturne and the one who's played it the most since he's become relevant again. See what the final ban is here. I don't think you're worried about a Tristana pick or anything like that here, as there's a lot of jungle picks still available here, as we haven't really seen that much, so it will be a Rel that is targeted now, which I think is quite wise. And then Zeus will eat another Jace ban this time around, so he may just be on Cassante duty for the Senna comp. And Owner's Lee Sin will come through. A very scary thing to face.
If I'm Sylvie, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to play Poppy, just to put the fear in him. As, of course, Peanut did have a wonderful time into his Lee Sin, but generally not good against this composition, so probably not a good idea. Jarvan is being looked at, actually.
They really just want to crush bottom, and, okay, going to swap over to Tristana, though, as, okay, well, they're going to change it up completely here and go Sejuani, so not going to have great dive in bottom lane, as Zeus is going to play Twisted Fate into this Udyr. And this is definitely a matchup that is tougher for Twisted Fate to play out than a lot of our other top matchups where you do just gold card and walk away.
Such as Renekton.
Yes.
We also saw today for some reason. And fortunately, the rest of the LCK.
Yeah, I'm very hyped about that. Thanks so much, CGV. Popcorn here for what should be an exciting start to this series. Massive underdog matchup here for Nongshim, but they've got a decent draft. See if they can get it done.
See what happens here as we hop into the rift for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
All right, here we go. Match 82. Nongshim versus T1. Nongshim just looking to play spoiler against T1 and try to knock them down a peg, which in that case, if Life Esports did win both of their series, they would get second place, which could be pretty dangerous, but I'm sure T1 are still confident against Nongshim. But we have to still play the games out and see what happens.
It's a round-robin format. Peter, Sylvie, and Jiwoo are going to hide in this river brush here, but does not look like we're going to see any face checks. However,
they're coming in.
Yeah.
And Owner's going to see this. Now, he will stay safe, but that's his blue buff gone. Although, could try to potentially fight this, but here comes Call Me.
I don't know about fighting this, but they are going to just come over here and grab some Senna stacks, try to be aggressive. Not hopeful for them on this one.
Just let it go. Peter's just going to run into them. I mean, they do have a better level 1, so going to win that one. I mean, Tom Senna isn't weak, but Kalista Renata definitely going to enjoy that.
Yeah, just put some sticks in them, and definitely not ideal. As you can see, Dindin has played 9 games of Udyr. It's 4-5. It's been one of his more successful champions this season. You mentioned Zeus. He has only played a few champions. 1 game. Twisted Fate was one of them. Owner, shockingly 1-4 on the Lee Sin. He has not been finding success with this season.
Yeah.
Even though it's one of his most successful picks career-wise.
Well, level 2 hit here. Okay, there, Jiu does get it. Nice little handshake. Ascaria is going to try to get the knockup of Guma. Forced to flash away. Jiu does eat a turret shot now, and now Caria's getting in there. And one more auto would do it. Can he get in range? But no, the Q's going to come in from the Renata, and even with the lick, maybe. No, he's going to get the last auto, and that will be first blood. Going to Caria as Peter immediately trades it back.
Really good play from Nongshim going in there, but taking that extra turret shot ruins everything. And the flashes as well to avoid Caria's re-engage. Everything about the beginning of the play was great, but the spacing was good enough there from T1. Guma and Caria will win out on this fight. Zoner and Sylvie will clash in the jungle. Meanwhile, with Call Me having prio, definitely not something that Owner wants to tussle with. But yeah, going back to this Tristana, by the way, you know, it's just like what we saw from Yehu in the previous series. So much of this game is on Call Me to find success in this Orianna matchup early. If he gets completely outclassed like we saw Chovy do to Yehu, this whole draft falls apart. Zoner
tries to stick around to get this ward, and in the 2v2, this should favor Faker and Owner, as now Call Me's eating a huge amount of damage himself, and Sylvie now has to flash away. Q lands from Owner, and that is just a straight up kill. Gets a little bit of help from Faker, and now Owner's coming back. He's angry, and he's not even looking. Call Me just dies and accepts his fate.
Well, this may be a precursor of what we got in our second series tonight. Is meanwhile, 16 winning streak here for Guma on the Senna. He's played it with a bunch of different lanes, obviously, but this is the most common with Caria, the Tahm Kench, that he is so good at, so known for.
Yeah.
And when he gets farm, he gets triple kills. He is a brawling Tahm Kench.
Not banning Senna against T1 is a mistake. I think you have to ban it away from him.
Well, I think a lot of teams, as we'll watch this play once again, the root comes down and then Caria wants to re-engage. The flashes come through onto Guma, but Jiwoo actually chasing there into the turret is really going to hurt the opportunity here, and then Caria does come over. I really like the cleanse here from Jiwoo. They also get the loyalty program here to actually give the additional shield. Still not enough. And so close to success there. And what I was going to say about that is, there's not much to say here. Unfortunately, Call Me is just super low, and fighting this was not the right call. Sylvie's super frustrated on the player cam after this moment. And then, I mean, I guess there is a lot to say in that. Call Me decides, you know, he goes in the brush there to just back, and he must be in the shop.
This.
Yeah, he must be just in the shop. I mean, I don't know. But the point of the Callista pick is, okay, you can't pick Senna into this. Callista will crush it. Most of the time when we see these Sennas, as his flash is forced as well. Man, this is no good news.
Flashes, I guess. Dinden is getting on in there. He's trying to get this solo kill on the Zeus, but now Goldguard is going to come out and Zeus will get away.
You can see that pressure I was talking about with the Udyr, but he's not able to put anything else on. It will be Ghost's exchange there. And that's still significant, though, because Zeus doesn't have teleport, and he doesn't have level 6. Going to take Swifties and run back as fast as he can. Should be some plate gold going over to Dinden.
Yeah, the level 4 Sejuani gank, I mean, Sylvie does not have flash, and yes, Faker doesn't either, but he can just run north, as now it all comes down, and Call Me is going to try to take him out, and he does, and now the interrupt on Owner, but he still gets that E down, and Sylvie is not able to do much, unless Owner sticks around. Might have a little scuffle. Miss on the Sonic Wave now, but Flail does not connect.
Yeah, just going to be picking up their mid laners CS here for a moment. Lots of action in this one. This is the Nongshim way, okay? Just try to force early, but it's also kind of the T1 way. And they have been a little bit more successful with it, but at least they were able to get that kill onto Call Me. If he ends up dying there without getting the kill, the situation is even more disastrous. Feels like a lot of these plays have been one step forward, 2 steps back here for Nongshim, and T1 just keeps on winning out. His Owner, 3/4 of his team's kills right now, is coming up big every single time. And Faker is reading these plays, calling for Owner to leave the Void Grubs here and come over for the assist. If this Q doesn't connect, you know, that's probably not enough damage to take him out, but it does. Good accuracy there from Owner once again, as Call Me is trying to turn this game around. Bought a cull as well. But Faker is definitely feeling pretty comfortable with the game state now. And as you can see, despite Zeus getting pushed in earlier, he's actually still maintaining a really nice CS lead. Plus Twisted Fate's passive gold means Dinden won't be doing this to him for very long.
Yeah. Dinden just letting the wave push into him. Nailing down the weak ones here. And Call Me in that mid trade actually very nicely calculated. He hit level 6 on the 1 minion. I thought he was going in on level 5, and I was like, this is not going to work, but it was perfect. And this is what happens if you're not all-inning on Tristana, is you're just going to get poked out by Orianna. A lot of matchups end up that way against Orianna. So now Q is going to connect here onto Sylvie as the action does not stop in this early game. Here comes Keria, just going to dive onto 2 people. There's no level 6 for them, but he's got it as Devour comes through. And now Jiu's in a lot of trouble as Owner is getting pretty low. The bailout comes in, and actually Jiu is fine for just a little bit. As now we get another Abyssal dive, but it's denied as the Lick is going to get the kill from Keria. And we got a little 2-on-2 action now. Peter and Call Me on the run. And meanwhile, Faker just taking mid-turret plates.
Yeah, just taking plates here, as Call Me is not able to come down here and make an impact on this plate just yet. He's waiting to maybe look to do it, but they know he's missing mid.
Yeah. And now he's going to jump on in. He does have his ult, I believe. Maybe not. Just going to auto him down. The E is good enough. But now Keria, a nice little dodge sidestep here from Call Me. And Peter's blocking the Lick. And there's no Devour at the moment. Maybe one more blick. One more lick for the play. But that's going to be the end of that.
Yeah, we'll not be getting the center of that Tootsie Pop. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a trade up here for T1, and Call Me left the lane again. Stayed down there. Faker grabbed 2 plates for it. And Valdez, I mean, again, it just feels like Nongshim are trying to drag T1 down to their depths of you know, kind of down and dirty early game League of Legends, and T1 are answering well. Is Zeus maybe in trouble?
Nice flash. Good reaction. He's going to get out of dodge. If he doesn't flash that, he's probably dead. Even with Ghost and Flash available, or at least he would have taken a lot more damage.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he definitely needed to flash it. Reaction time very quick. Does handle it. And he will be pushed out of the lane. So that's going to be good news here for Dinden, who will grab some additional plate gold. Top side is under their control. And then this is, I think, the draft concept for Nongshim is we have a winning Callista lane, we have a Udyr lane, and if Call Me puts the pressure on Faker, he should be in a pretty good spot.
Here.
Yeah, they know this.
By the way. They're going to try to flash over the wall, and he's lucky he dodged the handshake. Otherwise, that may have continued.
Yeah, good reaction time from him as well. Good attempted punish there by Nongshim. Well, the bottom lane isn't winning, Valdez, and that's where I was going back to. Is like, yeah, they're like, you wouldn't put Senna into Callista. Tom can't Senna into Callista. We've seen teams try to do that. You got to ban that and then pick the Senna, but carry is pretty good. His owner just keeps pushing this.
He's going to land the kick, though, and he's got some help as well. The roam up from their bottom lane. Guma right here is going to help out in that one. Owner just knowing he's got support from the bot lane that somehow is the prio, and then, of course, Faker doing pretty well in mid. Up 30 CS, 10 minutes in.
And just Call Me has spent so much time out of lane, either in the bottom lane trying to fight some of these skirmishes or just because he's died, that he's just not getting farm. And he'll be able to teleport back and catch some of these minions. It's not going to change the story. As T1 are just continuing to trade up on the map, and Owner will get that red buff that he wanted so badly. The team playing around him there. It's not going to be Chemtech Soul either, Valdez. We have that confirmed early, so I think the action will just continue here.
Call Me just got back to lane. And Sylvie just got his ult back, though. Might be able to punish Faker here, who does have his flash, but doesn't have anywhere really to run, and he's just going to run into the turret instead, and Sylvie will pick up the kill.
Yeah, Faker looked really frustrated there, but knew there was nothing he could do. Didn't want to waste his flash. It was a really nice path there from Sylvie, the control ward at the top of the river brush, so no way for Faker to have any information there. He was coming from that angle. As that Sonic Wave looks like it's going to miss, but this initially looks like, oh wait, has Owner made a mistake? Because Call Me's here, but he just ward hops away before Call Me can actually ult him into the left side of the map there, because if he actually ults him faster, maybe something happens there, but instead, just being a turn. And Faker, as soon as he sees Sylvie, he speeds himself up and he's like, And he actually, unfortunately for Call Me, will not be killed by the Tristana. It's actually Sylvie who gets the kill.
Well, at least the Knight's Vow purchase does come through, and maybe he'll just use that on Call Me, as you might be getting the bailouts, but we'll have to wait and see where that does go. And here we go once again. Call Me continuing to try to trade onto this one, as he will buffer with the rocket jump, but you can see these trades are not going his way.
Sylvie's here this time, try to block this play from Owner.
Oh, hello. Jungler's going to meet once again. Seems like the 8th time this game. Q gonna land, but Owner is just hanging out. And Call Me, he's kind of doing the opposite of hanging out. He's very stressed right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has just never had a moment to breathe this entire game.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to play this matchup when you're leading the charge on it, but he's not. He's actually under so much pressure himself as he's fallen behind and still trying to stay relevant. And Sylvie has had to babysit him, so the Udyr isn't getting too much more value topside either. His Owner's just staying, man.
Uh-oh. He has to flash the Senna ult from the river.
This is the level of coordination you see on T1 with their communication. Just 2 steps ahead of you. You thought you got away from Owner. Yeah, Sonic Wave doesn't get on you. Are you safe? No, because you're going to get one more Q from Faker, and Guma's calling for it. Q him one more time, I'm going to ult. Just look for it, and then boom, down goes the flash from Call Me, who has really just been put down in this game, similar to Yehu. If you can't win this matchup, then Tristana just does not end up doing anything.
Well, we're going to try to play onto Zeus here underneath the turret, as we'll hold the gold card, but Sylvie is tanking up the turret, as now we got TP coming in. And Zeus is burning down a bit, but now with Faker and Keria making their way into this fight, it's looking pretty good for the side of T1 as Dundun. He is Udyr, but not too easy to run away from the Tom Ken. So Abyssal Dive comes through. One more lick will be dodged, and will not get stunned up because of that dodge. Nicely done by Dundun to get away.
Yeah, nice escape from him. He is Udyr after all, very good at escaping, but Faker did not have his ult when he eventually teleported in. Okay, he does now.
Okay. All right.
That's what I was going to say, was he didn't have his ult there to catch him, but he does now, and also perfectly timed, calculated. I got the plate as well. Down goes the Udyr, down goes the plate, and who's the jungler on T1? I mean, they all are. Guma's making an impact globally. Karia's roaming. Faker's TPing for big plays. Now, will he get punished a second time?
I think he is in some trouble, especially if Sylvie does come through the jungle here. Although he might be able to execute.
I think he might, and okay, Peter?
It's looking pretty likely that he gets out here. Although Peter is really fast. But so is Orianna after all. Faker's going to get away and just gets executed down after taking the turret. Meanwhile, they're getting a Chemtech Drake. As Nongshim kind of falling apart at the seams here.
Yeah, and it's no surprise considering the early game, but Faker got the kill onto Dundun, got a plate, got the whole turret, got Fate's call, and then his execute allows him to get out with no return as they get bottom side turret. Now, Jiwoo will be able to turn this into a bounty turret here, maybe not off this wave, as Peter is showing up. They want Carrier, they want revenge!
All right, well, he's just going to flash that, and now there's no CC because Peter did not hit a single one. Carrier just going to laugh his way to safety.
But they got the bounty gold, Valdez!
Yeah.
Not Carriers, but the turret, at least.
True. It's something. I feel like T1 and Genji are just trying to outdo each other on who's going to win harder today. I thought maybe Nongshim, you know, they generally do show up in game 2. So perhaps maybe Fiesta comes in, maybe we see a little bit of life in game 2, but so far this game 1 has it's been a bit messy. You know, T1 haven't been perfect, but it's certainly going in one direction at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, when you try to drag teams down to Nongshim's level, a team like Hanwha, you know, might sometimes succumb, but
KT.
usually not. KT, yeah, KT D+, they will get into the shenanigans and maybe Nongshim wins out. T1, they're like, we were born in the shenanigans, okay? We are the ones who do the weird drafts. We're the ones who take the extremely aggressive plays and turn them around, and they're not faltering.
Hunters going in. They don't really have any vision, but they don't seem to care. Handshake comes through on a Peter as Owner's basically just trying to decide if he wants to go for a little insect play or not. Decides on no. Faker in a bit of trouble here as they might have the burst damage. He does have arm guard already, but a bit of help from Senna perhaps. Now this is, oh, well, Owner's gonna get on over it. Now he gets the kick onto the Tristana, and Sejuani is barely gonna have enough damage. Sylvie will take him out. Call Me will be traded back though.
Yeah, Owner basically 1v1ing the Tristana there as Faker will escape. Owner has 5 kills this game. He's sitting on a Sundered Sky and just some additional health and a longsword. He's not like massively fed, but he is level 10. He is ready to tussle as he has just all game long been forcing fights to try to bail Faker out of his aggressive pushes. Guma as well, as you mentioned, committing the ultimate there to try to give him the shield and buy some extra time. It was a pretty valiant attempt here from T1 to save Faker as he buys time with his arm guard. Then Owner comes over, looks for the kick after Guma gives him a small shield here. He speeds himself up, ults in. Call Me, who then gets kicked away, and Owner finishes him off with Guma's help. So ends up being a kill over to Nongshim, but it's a trade, as all of these fights have been 16 kills in 18 minutes.
Yeah, the issue in that trade was that Dindon actually got poked out of the bottom lane, so while they're kind of trading even on the top side, Zeus just gets a turret in the inner bottom turret as well, so he's feeling pretty good about his situation. He's had mostly a free game, although he has been ganked quite a lot, as now he's trying to go 1v1 versus Call Me here. One more card should do it, and that it will, as Zeus takes him down.
Yeah, he's just that far behind. Cannot fight this Twisted Fate, even with the nerfs. I mean, even with the build, it's rapid fire cannon and a Shiv. That's enough versus just the Kraken Slayer there for Call Me, who I believe is a level behind as well. And Zeus hits 13. He's got so much gold from his passive. So he's sitting right now on second most farm in the game, just behind Jiwoo.
Oh. He's going to hit that Q, but Owner is very far behind enemy lines. I think, you know, he's had some struggles on the Lee Sin recently. I think he's trying to really make an impact in this first game. He's going for the extremely aggressive angles at seemingly every moment.
You know, I mean, if you're Nongshim in this game, you're not gonna catch up on macro in this one. You just gotta keep trying. Do not go quietly into that night, into that good night, bad night. I don't know what kind of night it is for them. It's a weird night. Do not go quietly into that weird night.
It's a popcorn night.
It's a popcorn night. good night to have popcorn in the audience as the gold lead growing.
Nice flash, at least, to get away from that one. But now we got TPs galore. Everybody's joining in this one. As, oh god, Call Me is tanking all of the damage. Really nice ult on the two of them, though. But the Devourer comes through onto Zeus. He will survive as they take out Call Me, and they will take out the Callista as well. And immediately the fight is turned around. The Devourer coming in huge here. And T1, of course, with the very large wallets at the moment. Can they take out Zeus? The answer is no. And that is a clean ace for T1.
Really nice Devourer there, denies the bailout. Shield comes through. They've got one Chemtech Drake as well.
Whoa.
So empowered shield.
6%.
Yeah. As, yeah, he is a level down in this fight. Zeus gets 13 after it, as it's just trades of autos here. He dies. Rapid Fire Cannon coming up big. And then in this skirmish, it looks like initially 2 members of T1 are caught as they are doing Baron in live with, it looks like no contest.
Yeah, everybody's dead. Yeah.
So the shield comes out onto Zeus, and then he is devoured, so no bailout for Call Me, who burns down through the bailout. And then an attempt here from Gio, who's then gold carded. Really good team play here from everyone on T1, including Guma, who then shows up for the end of it to give some additional healing, and the damage here will be the one to get the last kill. T1 just so far ahead that if you drag them into those skirmishes and they all rotate over, TP is available. You don't win those. Nice try, Nongshim. 10,000 gold behind nearly at 20 minutes.
Yeah, the 20 minutes for 10,000 golds, and something we haven't seen in a bit. Swift Heralds is going to be a free 25 extra going into the hands of Faker. And a free Cloud Soul on top of it, no doubt. Not going to happen just yet, but Cloud Soul points. And T1 are basically just planning on how they want to end this game and what they're going to do in game 2, because doesn't really seem to be much of a contest in this one.
No, I mean, it's I mean, it was the ultimate contest for a really long time. Like, they kept contesting, and to their detriment, and now there's just nothing left. There's not no wind in the sails. The sails have been ripped out by T1. There are no sails.
It's a rowboat.
Yeah. With no oars.
Do they have a paddle?
It's broken oars in the rowboat. They have.
Oh no.
Like right now, Peter is like scooping his hand into the water.
They're using the top of the cooler, like trying to move themselves. Another guy on the left side's got a newspaper.
Oh.
It's not going well.
It's not going well, Valdez. Well, there's no soul for 4 minutes. Let's see if Nomshi could survive long enough for it to spawn, to maybe have one last team fight there. 2-item Callista.
And Karya is a Omega tank at the moment. Like, he's got 2 armor items. They don't have AP damage outside of Udyr, as Bailout comes out, just kind of laughable at this point. Call Me is going to avoid the loyalty program. And yeah, they're just kind of putting them out of their misery. T1 not wasting any time with this one. As maybe Faker, oh god, he just is gonna get devoured. And yeah, Call Me just sat by himself in the fountain. T1 should be able to take this first game in about 23 minutes.
The most T1 game I've ever feel like I've seen, Valdez. Just so much coordination.
Look at that healing, Jesus.
The healing is crazy. Down goes the Nexus. Every time you think you've got them, every time you think you found an angle, they're just better at rotating.